The following is a presentation of the Reviewing Network Sports. In 2009, the Steelers had finished with a 9-7 record in a tie for second place in the AFC North, falling short of the playoffs. The offseason was marked by the trade of Santonio Holmes to the New York Jets and the 6-game suspension, then reduced to 4 games, of quarterback Ben Roethlisberger for on-the-field issues. The team did not re-sign free agent running back Willie Parker, who had been with the team since 2004. They added receiver Antoine Randall and linebacker Larry Foote, who were both with the team for their Super Bowl 40 victory. The disappointing outcome of the 2009 season brought about the first significant changes in the team's coaching staff since the hiring of Mike Tomlin in 2007. Offensive line coach Larry Zerline and special teams coordinator Bob Legashevsky were dismissed on January 6, 2010. Additionally, quarterbacks coach Ken Anderson announced his retirement on January 5, 2010. All three men had served in the same roles for their 3 years since Tomlin assembled his initial staff. Defensive quality control coach Lou Spanos left to become the linebackers coach for the Washington Redskins. Spanos had been on the defensive coaching staff since 1995. Jerry Olszewski was hired to replace Spanos. Olszewski had coached linebackers at Youngstown State University for the previous 7 seasons, following a 10-year NFL career as a linebacker primarily with the Steelers. Sean Kugler was hired to replace Zerline as the offensive line coach. Kugler had until recently served in a similar capacity with the Buffalo Bills. Al Everest filled the vacancy as special teams coordinator left by Legashevsky's dismissal. Everest has nearly 40 years of professional and college coaching experiences, including the last 14 coaching special teams for the 3 NFL clubs. He served most recently as the special teams coach of the San Francisco 49ers. In 2002, Everest was named the NFL Special Teams Coach of the Year for his work with the New Orleans Saints. Randy Fichtner stepped into the quarterback's coach post vacated by Anderson's retirement. Fichtner had coached the team's wide receivers since Tomlin's arrival in 2007 and Bruce Arians' promotion from that position to offensive coordinator. Scotty Montgomery was hired as the new wide receivers coach. Montgomery had coached receivers at his alma mater, Duke University, for the past 4 seasons, following an NFL and arena football playing career. The team lost pro scouting coordinator Doug Whaley, who left to become the assistant general manager of the Buffalo Bills. Whaley had been in this position with the Steelers since 1999. Brandon Hunt was hired as Whaley's replacement in a return to the Steelers. Hunt had served as a scouting intern with the club in 2005 and 2006, and spent the previous 2 seasons as a scout with the Houston Texans.
Some major news involving one of football's biggest stars. Today, the NFL suspended Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger for the first 6 games of next season. Last month, a 20-year-old college student in Georgia accused him of sexually assaulting her. Roethlisberger, who's won 2 Super Bowls, was not charged criminally, but the NFL says he violated the league's personal conduct policy.
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell announced in April that Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger will be suspended for up to 6 games for violating the NFL's personal conduct policy. The commissioner also ordered Roethlisberger to undergo a behavioral analysis. On September 3rd, Goodell reduced the suspension to 4 games based on the results of the analysis and Roethlisberger's behavior in the interim period. Roethlisberger had been accused of sexual assault in 2 separate incidents in 2009 and 2010. Though criminal charges were not brought against him in either case. The 2010 season was going to be a tall task, with Ben Roethlisberger out for 4 games to kick the season off. Dennis Dixon took over starting QB for their first game on September 12th against the Atlanta Falcons. And much like the way the 2009 season began, it was a defensive slugfest that came down to overtime as Rashard Mendenhall ran a 50-yard touchdown to win the game 16-9. The following week was better as Pittsburgh scored a 97-yard kickoff return to rookie Antonio Brown for a quick 7-0 start against Tennessee. The Steelers dominated the Titans for most of that game, winning 19-11. Week 3 saw Mike Tomlin returning once again to Tampa Bay, this time facing his former team, and total domination followed as the Steelers crushed the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 38-13 to put the Steelers at 3-0 for the second time in 4 years. Things were looking pretty solid until the Ravens came to town in Week 4. A sluggish matchup followed as the Steelers were looking to make it 4-0, up 14-10, but Joe Flacco and the Ravens in the final seconds threw a touchdown to T.J. Houshmandzadeh to win it 17-10, the Steelers' first loss in the 2010 season. After a Week 5 bye week, Ben Roethlisberger returned from suspension to help lead the Steelers to victory against the Browns 28-10. A Week 7 matchup with the Miami Dolphins followed, with a 23-20 win followed soon after by a Week 8 loss against the world champion Saints on Halloween night 20-10. The team would rebound the next Monday night against Cincinnati before losing a blowout at home to New England the following Sunday night. The Steelers would get their revenge on the Raiders after last year, 35-3, and that was followed by an overtime win to Buffalo. A revenge game against Baltimore in Baltimore for the division lead and a Cincinnati win at home put the Steelers at 10-3 in mid-December. The team would hit a snag when the Jets came to town the following week, losing 22-17. But the team was able to clinch the division with a dominant 27-3 win over the Carolina Panthers and finally lock in the AFC's 2 seed with a Cleveland win, finishing the season at 12-4 and putting the Steelers back in the playoffs after missing in 2009. Just like 2008, the Steelers' postseason journey began in the divisional round, and just like in 2008, one of the matchups was against the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens led the divisional round at the half 21-7, but the Steelers came roaring back in quarter 3 to tie it at 21. A field goal gave Baltimore the lead back in the fourth quarter, but the Steelers found a way to get back in it with another drive down the field, with Ben finding rookie Antonio Brown for the first of his many acrobatic catches of his career. Rashard Mendenhall sealed the win with a 31-24 victory to send the Steelers to the AFC Championship game, which the following day would be revealed to be in Pittsburgh after the Jets pull off the upset win over the 14-2 New England Patriots the next day. The stage was set for a rematch, Jets vs. Steelers, to decide who goes to Super Bowl 45 against the Green Bay Packers. The Steelers dominated the first half 24-0, but the Jets made a notable comeback effort in the second half, and at 24-19 with just under 2 minutes left to go, all the Steelers had to do was get a first down, and just like the previous week, Big Ben found Antonio Brown for a first down, sealing the deal. The wide receiver the Steelers drafted with the pick that they got in the Santonio Holmes trade to the Jets knocked the Jets out for the Pittsburgh Steelers to punch their ticket to Super Bowl 45. For the 8th time in their history, the Pittsburgh Steelers were back in the Super Bowl trying to go for number 7, but their toughest task was ahead. The surprising Green Bay Packers, who nabbed away wins to the Eagles, Falcons, and the Bears to make it here, were a 3-point favorite. And right from the start, the Steelers were no match for Green Bay. The Packers dominated early and often with a 14-0 score for Green Bay in quarter 1. The Steelers would score 10 in quarter 2, but the Packers got a touchdown to make it 21-10 at the half. The Steelers scored a touchdown in the third quarter to make it close, but Green Bay always found a way to keep it away from Pittsburgh. When the gun went off, the final score was 31-25 Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers cemented his legacy with the Packers, getting them their 4th Super Bowl, and the Steelers would going home empty. Better luck next year, boys. Surely no cataclysmic event the following season will change the course of the Pittsburgh Steelers forever, right? Right?
And here we go. First snap of the overtime. The Broncos have been in 3 overtime games this year. They won them all. Got it.